Hare Krishna. Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy Pandava Ekadasi, or we also known as Nirjala Ekadasi. And this is a special day for fasting, a special day for Ekadasi, because this Ekadasi is so powerful. When you do this Ekadasi, all the Ekadasis that you've missed during the for the whole year is actually um, considered. So thank you very much for joining. And that is 5:30 to 7 o'clock. That is the Japa session. And we are entering the realm of the study of our Shrimad Bhagavatam, the Mock in the Middle podcast. Carla Mataji, Hare Krishna, Mother Moksha Lakshmi Mataji, back to Oliver, back to Paulo, back to RJ, back to Chantal, back to Jonah, back to Naimi, back to Riza, Wang Yui, Hare Krishna. So join me as we recite the invocation mantras for us to be in the proper mood, the mood of request, the mood of humility. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasvatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashta Prayashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamas Loki Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. I offer my obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the Personality of Godhead, unto the Personality of Godhead, Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the Supremmost Human Being, unto Mother Saraswati, the Goddess of Learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the Author. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service unto the Personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as a revocable fact. So he is. Previously, we discussed and we entered in the 5th chapter of the Bhagavatam entitled Cause of All Causes. And it was a conversation between Narada Muni and Brahmaji, Lord Brahma. So different conversations from Sutta Goswami and the Naimi Saranya sages headed by Sanaka Rishi. They're talking about this kind of conversations, specifically talking about Pariksit Maharaj and Sukadev Goswami. Then Sukadev Goswami and Pariksit Maharaj talk about this conversation. Narada Ji and Lord Brahma. And Sri Narada Muni, as we discussed in the previous canto, he's a liberated person. Before, in his previous life, he was a son of a maidservant. Tapos, he served yung mga visitors na sages in his place. And he got the benediction, he got the mercy. In the next life, he became Narada Muni, the son of Lord Brahma. So this conversation happened, it was arranged by Krishna, of course, na magkatalong si Narada Muni kay Lord Brahma. And there are 6 questions na tinanong niya. Ano daw yung symptoms of the universe? What is its shelter? Paano rin yung universe na-create? Paano rin na-conserve? Paano, sa kanina nag-depend yung universe? And ano yung composition? Anong ingredients meron sa universe na yon? So, itinanong ni Pariksit Maharaj ay hindi yung tinanong ni Narada Muni, kaya kunento ni Sukadev Goswami. Then, previously tinanong din ni Narada Muni, I mean, may conviction siya na kaya niya tinanong si Lord Brahma, siya yung tatay. At the same time, siya rin yung, sabi niya, you know everything. Siya kasi yung naunang being in the material creation. He is the independent, self-sufficient, and wala nang kilala si Narada Muni na other source. Pero, he seems to be like less intelligent. Supposedly, alam niya yon. Pero by the arrangement of Krishna, kailangan niya itanong. Just like Arjuna. There's a covering para tanongin ni Narada Muni yun. So with all these characteristics and glorification kay Lord Brahma, bigyan tinanong niya, I know wala ng ibang other source, hindi ko kilala. Pero I just want to clarify my doubts. Kasi I see you also performing tapasya. Para kanino mo ginagawa yon? Ang talino, di ba? I could remember meron ako ginawang film review when I was in college. In the psychiatric subjects namin. Yung Beautiful Mind. He's a genius. Pero sobrang genius niya. Meron din siyang something in his mind. Tapos may nakakausap siya. I think an adult guy than a little girl. Tapos habang tumatagal, sobrang talino niya. Nalaman niya na hindi okay yung pag-iisip niya kasi nakita niya na hindi tumatanda yung friend niya na adult guy saka a young girl. So same thing kay Narada Muni. It looks like na less intelligent siya kasi tinatanong niya to, supposedly alam niya, eternally liberated soul siya. Pero nakita niya si Lord Brahma is also meditating, doing tapasya. And para kanino? So let's continue reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd Canto, the Cosmic Manifestation. Chapter 5. Yan. Text number 9. Lord Brahma said, my dear boy Narada, being merciful to all, including me, you have asked all these questions because I have been inspired to see into the prowess of the Almighty Personality of Godhead. So just like previous conversations, previous personalities, before they answer something, they felt glorified specifically kapag sumasagot sila or tinatanong sila about something about Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And they will start by paying obeisances, paying respect, paying homage to the teachers and much more to Krishna. Actually, congratulate ni Lord Brahma si Narada Muni kasi he asked a valuable question. Ang pinaka natutuwa yung teacher, of course, yung mga may experience in teaching here, if one receives a valid question in the mood of respect, humility. And of course, si Narada Muni is teaching us an example how to do that. Humility doesn't mean tahimik na lang yung tao, doesn't express himself. That's not humility. That's lack of self-esteem. Or sometimes pride, kasi he will think na mas alam niya. Humility means one could still voice out, one will not shy away from doing the things, hindi siya namimili ng services, or out of pride sabihin niya, claiming something that he is not. But humility is doing it, owning the duty. At the same time, if there's responsibilities, he will also own. And kapag dumating yung mga credits, pag dumating yung glorification, he will give it to the team or to others. Real humility doesn't shy away from doing the duties and the responsibilities. Much more yung service. So si Lord Brahma, he is also a jiva, a soul, pero he is in a position na demigod siya. One of the oldest demigod, kasi sa kanya nanggaling yung ibang demigods. Pero hindi siya yung Supreme Creator. Ito yung kinaklarify niya dito. He's the secondary creator. Just like dinelegate sa kanya yung task na yun. Pero he is praising, praying, and glorifying Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's Lord Brahma. Chaturmukh, four-headed Lord Brahma. In each every universe, may Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma is a position. And after a lifetime ni Lord Brahma yon, that's 100 years ni Lord Brahma and would be trillions of years para sa atin. In a lifetime ni Lord Brahma, after nun magkapalit ng another Lord Brahma. Different jiva, different soul who have the karma to be Lord Brahma. So, in our universe, yung Lord Brahma natin, apat lang yung face, apat lang yung head. Siya yung pinaka-youngest sa lahat ng universes, sa lahat ng Lord Brahma. Siya rin yung pinaka-bata. Pinaka-onti yung head. So, it means pinaka-onti yung minamanage niya. So, some Lord Brahmas have 10 heads, 20 heads, 50 heads, 100 heads. Meron pa nga daw thousands and millions of heads. I don't know paano ipapaint ng isang painter yon, pero ganun kadami. And mas malaki yung universe na in-handle nila. So, si Lord Brahma, umpisa pa lang si Krishna, gumawa na ng leadership and management. May manager na kagad. And si Lord Brahma yon. So, others are bewildered kasi si Lord Brahma, akala nila siya yung cause of all causes kasi siya yung secondary creator. But it is not. So, ayun yung kinaklarify ng Lord Brahma in these succeeding verses. Ayun yung didiscuss natin today. Yung question ni Narada Muni is a sign of pure devotee of Krishna. And yung answer din ni Lord Brahma is a sign of pure devotee ni Krishna. It is purifying both for the questioners and for one who answers the question. Much more specific kapag the topic is about Krishna. So both, those who ask the question and those who teach. Those who are listening, those are the student and the teacher. So both have the benefit, are receiving the benefit from Krishna. The pure devotee are not only satisfied by knowing everything about the Lord, but are also eager to broadcast the information to others. So that is why we are not the end user of this Srimad Bhagavatam, of this yoga philosophy. Our duty is to spread it. Our duty is to teach it to others in different forms. There are bridging topics, bridging kind of preaching. I don't talk directly about Krishna consciousness. There are those who only talk first about kindness, gratefulness. That is a start. That is what we call bridging. Then, when they're much more interested, you can go further, you can go further, you can go further. So, it doesn't mean the way Radhacharan share the Krishna consciousness teaching, kung paano ko sinashare, ganun na lahat. No, iba-iba. Kung paano kay Guru Maharaj, ibang level din yun. Kung paano sa Srimad Bhagavatam natin every morning, ganun na dapat sa meditation and yoga philosophy. As if you would observe, magkaiba siya ng level ng teaching, magkaiba siya ng level ng discussion. So that's the level of teaching. You will teach yung 1 plus 1 dun sa may kailangan matuto ng addition ng 1 plus 1. Pero those who are college or after postgraduate, kailangan niya matutunan yung trigo, in geometry, kailangan niyo gumamit ng scientific calculator. Ganun level. And I will tell you, it will go deeper and deeper. So, just scratching the surface, they're much more deeper than sa Bhagavatam and the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Much deeper is the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, dapat alam yon. If you're a teacher, dapat alam mo ano ituro. Like, if you're a yoga teacher, you cannot teach advanced poses and flows dun sa mga bago pa lang. It might cause them injury or they might be discouraged to practice. So those are the levels. Those are the levels. So we encourage everyone, sabi ni Lord Chaitanya, everyone should be a guru. In different ways, one should teach this Krishna consciousness. Either by speaking and much more by our actions. One way to share this Krishna consciousness, you should have books with you palagi. You will encounter interesting souls mga hinog, the ripened souls, they would ask questions. Krishna will send them to you, or you will be sent by Krishna to them. Don't be puffed up. Hindi tayo yung the savior. We're just an instrument sa hands ng guru to share this consciousness to others. And the duty of a disciple is to be disciplined, to have the discipline how to share it, how to practice it. So the more we practice every day, regular attendance of the Bhagavatam, the more we chant every day, the more we will be empowered how to share it. And don't worry kasi minsan, ano ba yung share ko? Parang wala mo natutunan. Parang ayaw lumabas. No, don't worry. Sige, share Prabhupada. Pag andyan na yung pagkakataon, he will tell you what you need to tell them. But we have to always do our assignment. Diba? If you're talking to someone, you should know ano yung interest, needs, and concern nila. If you're teaching an audience, you should know your audience. So that's teaching and studying this Srimad Bhagavatam, this yoga philosophy. That's how we go further. That's how we move on and go deeper. And yung benefit nito, sabi ni Sri Prabhupada, according to the scriptures, the teacher and the student gets the benefit in conversation with the topics of Krishna Katha. So one should be eager also to share to others. That's why there are devotees who engage in distributing the books of Srila Prabhupada, because that's the best way. You let Srila Prabhupada speak to them. And even they read one page, they will get much benefit. Even they read one paragraph, they will get much benefit. If they read one sentence, even one word, and even just seeing the book, they will get benefits. So that's planting the seed. If they hear the Hare Krishna mantra, that's planting the seed. Even if they see devotees wearing tilak, wearing the kuntimala, the neck beads, the sari or the dhoti, people will get the benefit. So the exposure is important. Of course, our practice also. Doon nanggagaling yung force. Purity is the force. Doon nanggagaling yung empowerment from the guru and our practice. Thus the devotee feels satisfied when such an opportunity is offered to him. This is the basic principle of missionary activities. So as we practice Krishna consciousness, you would feel, lalo na yung mga nag-experiment and receiving the instruction or asking instructions sa guru and sa senior devotees. Kung nagawa mo mag-Food for Life, you sold the book or book bundles, that yes, giving it away is okay, but if they give something in return in the form of Lakshmi, that is much more beneficial for them, because the money is a form of their time and energy that they are donating to Krishna in the form of service. So it's a two-way. Then they receive the book, the value is there, they will read it, hopefully Krishna willing, and that exchange is very important. It's very humbling actually for those who are distributing the books, because we are like beggars, lalo na kung you have a high paying job or business, pero you will need to distribute the books and ask for minimum donation. It's humbling, di ba? It will remove yung mga entitlement natin. So yes, we could try that. It's a wonderful experience. And even devotees, there's a study, not really observation by Vaishesheka Prabhu, Sri Prabhupada disciple, that focuses his whole life in distributing the books. He mentioned even those who are devotees who experiences depression or boredom or anxiety, sometimes they feel that they are stuck in the like a loophole or like a rat race lang. Even devotees na yun. Pero when they experience distributing books, even walang bumili, but the mere fact if one is offering the books to others, they will feel extreme joy, because Krishna doesn't always look into the result. Ano yung kinukuha ni Krishna? The endeavor, the love, the effort. The mere fact na you wanted to distribute Krishna's book, Krishna is so pleased, you will feel satisfied. And one, yeah, just like watering the root of the tree, if the root is watered and nourished, other parts of the tree will be satisfied. So same thing. Our services will rely on our intention. Nandun na yung result, pero mas mag-rely kung ano yung mood natin. If we're doing it with love and devotion. Much more in distributing this Krishna consciousness. Text number 10. Whatever you have spoken about me is not false, because unless and until one is aware of the personality of Godhead, who is the ultimate truth beyond me, one is sure to be illusioned by observing my powerful activities. He is saying that yung glorification, sinasabi ni Narada Muni kay Brahmaji, yeah, that is true. That is true. That is not false. At ito yung ginawa ko. Pero, si Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God, it is beyond me. Those who cannot see that are in illusion. Those who are seeing this and have the limited vision is illusioned by also Krishna's energy, which is, ano pangalan nun? Maya. So Maya could may two activities siyang ginagawa, covering and kicking potency. He could kick you everywhere from material world. Masipain yung puwet mo punta rito. Throwing and covering. Covering like putting a veil. Our vision will be impaired. We will not see clearly. That's why we always study Srimad Bhagavatam, because our goal is to have the Shastras Chakshus. See, Chakshus is the sight. Shastra is scriptures. So we want to have the sight of the scriptures. Seeing the eye of the scriptures. That is removing the veil. Understanding. Diba? Naintindihan natin, we're not the body, we're the spirit soul, sino yung supreme. That is by the help ng scriptures. What other resources and reference na pwede nating gamitin to perceive things around us? Google, Wikipedia. Diba? How can we trust 100% yung ganitong resources? Of course, we want to go deeper and further in understanding life, in understanding Krishna, in our own self. So that is the mentality of frog in the well. They want to understand, specifically mga ibang scientists, or nakita mo na yung mga ibang tao, they want to understand life, they want to understand Krishna, the creation, according to their own experience, according to their own limited perception. So, ganun yung introduction dito. Si Brahmaji is explaining to Narada Muni, don't have this frog in the well mentality. For one to be able to understand this, the basics you will need to understand by experience as well. But beyond that, faith will be your vehicle. From hearing, you'll have the Sharada. It is not blind faith, but there's no means how to measure that. Just like the scientists will tell you, this thousands of miles is the distance from Earth to Sun. But also the scripture will tell you, this thousands of miles is the distance between Earth and the Sun. Who have the authority? The scriptures. Because the scriptures, it was the measurement came from Krishna himself, the creator. And was confirmed by Lord Brahma, the secondary creator, and was passed down from generation to generation. Another is the scientist. How would you measure? It is just by estimation. Wala naman nakapunta dun eh. But Krishna did. So same. So the question is, where do you put your faith? Where do you put your the loyalty and faith. Yon, yung word na yon. It is not just, it is modern. It is already true. Remember, this modern science is started just few 100, 200 years ago. So bagong-bago lang to. Or maybe a couple of hundreds ago. But the scriptures started from time immemorial, from the start of this creation. Andun na yun. It's eternal. So that's how you move with faith. Because even these two example, we are just like frog in the well. Hindi ka pa nakakalabas eh. You cannot measure the ocean. Pero if you want to always measure it, just like the frog, binabulot niya yung stomach niya, yung throat. Hindi ko alam kung ano yung lumulobo doon. Yung stomach, yung habang pinipilit yun, at the end he will burst. Same thing. Even all these scientists, according to Sri Prabhupada, and those who mental speculate, they will just speculate on things, and they will die proving nothing. How would you prove it? You cannot go to the sun, diba? So same thing. And actually, most of them just also rely on the scriptures and the Vedas. Mostly. So that is what you call the poor frog in the well. Because they haven't been to the ocean, and they wanted to measure the ocean kasi meron lang siyang small reservoir of water in the well. Pinipilit niya. And it's impossible, and it's it is not the right way how to use the intelligence. So here, the creation that we will try to learn from Lord Brahma and the scriptures will be measured by our understanding in the scriptures and following the footsteps of the acharyas or the gurus. I don't think you will have the means to have a tape measure to measure the distance of this, how especially the years of the life of Lord Brahma. You wouldn't even pass 120 years, hopefully. But yeah, how could you measure that directly? But we have the source. We have the scriptures. So, because this Srimad Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Gita, is the most authentic book of knowledge. That is the reason. And if one doesn't have this, it is just mental speculation. If one speculated, one scientist, an author, a philosopher speculated something, even the book is 100 years old, it is not still an authority. Because speculation pa rin yun. So gets natin, diba? Hindi porket nilabas yun as commercial, or nilabas yun ng media, or ginawa siyang inauthenticate siya ng someone who will be just speculating also. Still, it is speculation. Like frog in the well. Lahat sila hindi pa nakita yung ocean. May mas matandang frog lang. So yeah, sabi dito, Brahmaji of this universe is younger than all the Brahma of all universes. So we have one of the young Brahma, and there's more actually. Sa lahat ng universes, there's Lord Brahma. Text number 11. I create after the Lord's creation by His personal effulgence, known as the Brahmajuti. Just as when the sun manifests its fire, the moon, the firmament, the influential planets, and the twinkling stars are also manifest their brightness. So it means the stars, other planets, and the moon's effulgence came from the sun. That's the analogy. But Lord Brahma is giving his creation also came from the effulgence of Krishna, which is the Brahmajuti. This is where the impersonalist goes. The nirvana, the light. But this is just the effulgence of Krishna. So dito nanggaling daw yung creation ni Lord Brahma, from Krishna also. Ayun nga yung analogy from the sun, the other planets, the stars are also um, having the light. They are not self-sufficient with the light. Only the spiritual world is self-sufficient because everything is glowing. Minsan yung mga devotees nakikita mo ang aliwalas nila. Some have this, what do you call this? Sight, vision to see auras. Diba? So si Lord Brahma explained this na nanggaling kay Krishna yung creation niya. Ayun yung Brahma duty. So, Lord Brahma said no to Narada that his impression that Brahma was not the supreme authority in the creation was correct. So, kinonfirm ni Lord Brahma na hindi siya yung supreme creator. Nag-create lang siya kung ano yung meron. Just like an inventor. Sabi mo, in-invent mo na yung greatest gadget. Hindi pa rin siya yung creator ng lahat ng element. He just mix up. Kumuha siya ng metal, kumuha siya ng plastic, kumuha siya ng energy, tapos minix up niya, may onting water, may onting earth. Same. Hindi tayo yung gumawa ng mga yon. Kahit sinong artist pa tayo. Diba? We secondarily create something. Yeah. Creatively, diba? Pero the elements is not created by us. So yung mga scientists ganun din. Si Lord Brahma is saying the same thing in a larger scale. Kung ano yung kinrate niya, kinuha lang yun niya kay Krishna. So, hindi siya yung cause of all the causes. It just clears up na si Lord Brahma, sa kanya nanggaling yung lahat ng demigods. And yung mga planets. Even the sun. So, yung mga wino-worship ng ibang tao are all coming from Lord Brahma. And si Lord Brahma na to is not claiming na siya yung supreme. He is saying na si Krishna yung supreme. Kasi lahat ng ngayon galing kay Krishna. Galing pa nga lang sa effulgence ni Krishna. Yung ginawa niya. Hindi pa si Krishna mismo yung gumawa. Hindi pa nga expansion niya. Although, some are saying that his expansion also, Anantashesh, the Brahmachuti. But, Krishna is aloof with that. So Brahma clears up the wrong impression held by less intelligent and affirms that he creates the universal variegatedness after the potential creation by the glaring effulgence of Lord Shri Krishna. So kinonfirm niya rin to sa Brahma Samhita. Lord Brahma composed a very beautiful prayers. It's called Brahma Samhita. It is in the past time when Krishna lifted the when Lord Brahma hid the playmates ni Krishna, yung gopas and the calves. After nag-sorry siya, nalaman niya si Krishna yon kasi nag-expand din si Krishna. Nagdasal siya ng Brahma Samhita. So, isa to sa sinabi ni Lord Brahma. I serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental bodily effulgence, known as the Brahmajuti, which is unlimited, unfathomed, and all-pervasive, is the cause of creation of unlimited numbers of planets, etc., with varieties of climates, specific conditions of life. Variety. Siya may creation ng daming different experience ng buhay. Different colors, different climates. Diba? Everyone is unique. Because sino yung makakagawa nun? Diba? Only Krishna. And even sa Lord Brahma, this Brahma Samhita is, hindi siya biro A lot of sages is considering this as, and glorifying these prayers ni Lord Brahma. And si Lord Brahma is glorifying Krishna. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. So, even the Brahmajuti, kung saan nanggaling yung creation ni Lord Brahma, came from Krishna. Brahmajuti is not independent. So, si Krishna is the ultimate creator. Pinaulit-ulit ni Srila Prabhupada to. Pinaulit-ulit ni Lord Brahma to. Kasi that is the clarification. Those who are less intelligent will only believe na and will not understand this. They will say, oh, the creator, the God the Father is the creator without a name. And yung creation na madalas na naririnig natin is just the creation of the material world. They created the heaven, they created the hell. That is actually Lord Brahma. He created the heavenly planets, he created the hellish planets, this earth. But Krishna is the supreme creator. So you could study the scriptures, how deep it is and how valid and how specific yung process ng creation. So yes, inulit ni Sri Prabhupada to, relying on yung repetition ni Lord Brahma. One should not expect the Lord to create like blacksmith with hammer and other instruments. The Lord creates by His potency. So He expanded Himself para gawin yung mga ganitong bagay. Hindi na si Krishna mismo. He is aloof. But He is also directly and indirectly involved with the creation. Just like the king, di ba? Meron siyang mga ambassadors, meron siyang other subordinate in position. So same with Krishna. So yes, all the luminaries in the sky are creations of the sun. The sun is the creation of Brahmachuti, and Brahmachuti is the effulgence of Lord Krishna. Thus, the ultimate cause of creation is the Lord. Very clear and very specific. The one who mistakenly considered as the creator by other people, sila, pag kinausap mo sila, sabi niyo, hindi si Krishna yun, di ako. Text number 12. I offer my obeisances and meditate upon Lord Krishna, Vasudeva, the personality of Godhead, whose invincible potency influences them, the less intelligent class of men, to call me the supreme controller. So, if one is thinking the less intelligent men, the less intelligent women, those are who are under Maya. If one is practicing Krishna consciousness, you don't belong in this category. And we are not even thinking that we are this body. But those who are less intelligent considered Lord Brahma to be the creator. Invincible si Krishna doon. Hindi nila makikita. Out of pride, without the humility, they will not understand. You would see scholars reading this. Even other students would read this. But without the proper mode, they would not understand. They will just be bewildered. So this is not just a scholarly na pagbabasa or pag-aaral. It goes deep kung ano nasa heart, ano intention. Because these are spiritual knowledge. This is Krishna Himself. So same thing, the illusory potency ni Krishna, ano pangalan niya? She is Maya. She could actually cover. Again, it was mentioned here by Srila Prabhupada, yung Brahma Samhita 5.1, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachit Ananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. The Supreme Lord is the personality of God, Shri Krishna, the primeval Lord in His transcendental body, the ultimate cause of all causes. I worship the primeval Lord Govinda. So, si Lord Brahma is worshipping Krishna. You would see, si Lord Brahma may hawak siyang Vedas kasi siya yung nag-compile nun, kasama sa nag-compile kasi pinasa siya, siya yung nagpasa, tapos kinumpile ni Vyasadeva. Pinasa sa kanya ni Krishna. Through Lord Vishnu. So, hindi siya yung creator, yung Vedas also. He just passed it down. So, hindi siya yung cause of all causes, but he is also worshipping. Tama yung question and tingin ni Narada Muni. He is also worshipping someone, creator. And he is admitting na he is worshipping Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God. Ito sinabi niya. Not just Bhagavan, a word, or kung sino man. He mentioned Ishvara Paramaha Krishna. Krishna's name. Just like the emperor verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. From all other demigods came from him. So he's the cause of all causes. He's the supreme person. So some is also, you could see, claiming that they are God out of their false ego. We're a small God. We want to be in control. Laging ganon eh. Pati sa buhay natin, we want to control a lot of things. Pati other people. And when they don't follow, we will be frustrated. Yung anak mo nga, hindi mo papasunod eh. Oh, there's this one devotee, I heard this podcast. Ang tagal niya sa military, ilang beses na deploy sa Iraq. Alam mo yung ang dami na patay. Nag-practice siya ng Krishna consciousness. And he's in a position. Tapos alam mo yung greatest realization niya, sa act of Father's Day, naging tatay siya. Sabi niya, yung mga tough men sa military sumusunod sa kanya. Pero yung anak niya, hindi niya mapasunod. So, how could you be a God if yung anak mo hindi mo mapasunod? Kailangan pang utuin na maraming ways para kumain lang, di ba? Yung tough man, kailangan mo magpaikot-ikot ng spoon na kutsara, kunyari, airplane, para lang sumubo yung anak mo. Same. We cannot be God. It is just foolish thinking. Less intelligent, naisipin nila yun. We're also God. So those are the Mayavadis. And even the Mayavadis have scriptures. And what we are hearing from other practitioners, they take pleasure in it. Because some will follow them. Those who are less intelligent also will follow them. The blind leading the blind. So this person takes pleasure in being addressed as God, or why such persons are addressed as God by foolish admirers. Explained by the following verse, the next verse. Text number 13. The illusory energy of the Lord cannot take precedence, being ashamed of her position, but those who are bewildered by her always talk nonsense. Being absorbed in thoughts of its I, and it is mine. So actually, si Maya is under the control of Krishna. She is the energy of Krishna. Hindi nga siya makaka-penetrate sa mga pure devotee. Of course, we could not be in Maya thinking that we are pure devotee. We should always be alert, aware kay Maya. She could easily creep in different forms. But if we're practicing Krishna consciousness, we know our weakness. Is it vices, intoxication? Is it illicit connection? Gambling ba yan? Meat eating? Yung mga weakness natin na yun, kino-cover up natin. Diba? Just like in boxing. Pero si Maya, alam niya yung opening mo. So if you're covering your head, diba? May fake shot, tapos may body shot. Same. We wouldn't know. Minsan si Maya, ganun siya mag-attack sa atin. You will be covering something, your weakness. Okay, I'm following the four-related principles. I'm chanting 16 rounds. Pero ang bigay para sa'yo ni Maya is pride. That you are better than others. So that's Maya. And one should be careful and alert na hindi siya kainin ni Maya in our practice. So that's why in humility, we should be under the shelter of the guru and the devotees. If one thinks that kaya niya si Maya, he's dead. That's the end of it. That's Maya already. One is illusion already. If one thinks he is not illusion, he is already illusion. Like yung mga laseng, di ba? Hindi ako laseng. Ba't ba sabihin yun? Alam mo, umiinom ka eh. Alam mo, malalasing ka. Di ba? So, same. So, one should be humble enough to check on the status. So, Maya could not exceed Krishna. Pero if one is in Maya, ang laman ng talks nila, ang laman ng consciousness nila is prajalpa, or they call it nonsense talks. They're talking about I, me, and mine. Ano pag may-ari ko? Sino ako? Ano ba yung mga accomplishments ko? Diba? And lahat papunta sa akin. People are like that. Diba? They want to be in control. Kaya usong-uso yung mga technology. Kasi lahat instant, lahat in control. Diba? Yung aircon mo, yung daming bagay, pwede mo kontrolin sa phone. May CCTV ka sa bahay, you can see kahit na saan lugar ka, makikita mo ano meron sa CCTV. Lahat instant. Diba? Because we want to be small gods, to be in control. That's the wiring of our brain. Kasi kaya tayo nandito sa material world, we thought of it. Diba? May desire tayo na ganun. So we want to remove that. We want to surrender kay Krishna. And of course, the nonsense talk, aside from that mentality, yung mapag-uusapan. Diba? 99% sa Facebook, unless syempre naka-filter yung mga Facebook friends and mga posts doon, you would see nonsense talk, talking about this, there's their opinion politics, their opinion on COVID, their opinion on vaccine. They'll fight over it, di ba? And friends over na yung iba, sadly, just because of different opinions. After that, after a few years, tapos na yung opinion na yun, hindi pa rin kayo bate. Di ba? Okay, tapos na yung termino ng mga politician na yun, tapos di pa rin kayo. Or they're fighting over colors. Pula ka, dilaw ako. Di ba? Kaya color of the skin or nationality. Or hindi ka kasi fan ako ng isang band. Hindi ka kasi fan nun, they'll fight over it. So, it's a totally waste of time. Yes, it's entertaining. Sometimes it could be a way to connect. But just like over-endeavoring in these things, it's just nonsense talk. Again, one should not be like a mute na hindi magkasalita, or one would not be able to socialize talking about how you are, diba, kamusta health mo. It's part of connecting. Pero kung ganun na lang talaga, tuwing nag-uusap na lang kayo, usapan na lang 24 hours basketball, boxing, diba, yung nangyari, yung napaload yun dati. Diba? It's a repetition. Diba? Maybe there's something much more creative topics that could be discussed. Diba? Or creative information that you want to instill in your mind. Hindi naman mangyayari na 100%. Hopefully, ganon. Pero sometimes you have to see, diba? If you're creating something, just like when you're cooking, you will have to watch different cooking demos, cooking videos. Diba? Na it seems indirectly Krishna consciousness. But if you're gonna use it for Krishna, then it will be helpful. It will be connected. So, ganon si Maya. You will see when a person talk. Diba? You will see its person's consciousness kapag nagsalita na siya, pag nakausap mo na siya. Ano yung laman? Diba? Aside dun sa action niya, ano yung laman ng pag sinasabi niya. Then you will validate kapag ano yung nakita mo yung actions niya. So yes, this Maya, this energy of Krishna is also invincible, hindi mo nakikita. And it could take over this entire world. We could see a lot of people, most of the people in this entire world are working under her energy, under the influence of goodness, passion, and ignorance. They're just working for, like, let's sum it up. They're working for money. They're working for fame. They're working for comfort. They're working for security. They're working for power. Pero lahat ng mga to, kapag nilagay mo si Krishna, magkakaroon ng sense. Pag wala si Krishna, is just a repetition. Survival of the fittest. But you have to just put Krishna in it. So, kaya tayo sinatawag siyang nescience. Or nonsense. So, it is very important kasi this civilization are now designed, unfortunately, as a godless civilization. So they don't consider the presence of Krishna. They don't consider the presence of God. A lot of countries, even communist countries, they don't want God in different forms, even in personalist God. They don't want. They want just control. They just want money. They worship energy of Krishna. Indirectly, they're worshiping Krishna, but they're worshiping the energy. Money, power, fame. That came from Krishna also. Intelligence. Diba? Sa Bhagavad Gita, inaral natin yan. Kay Krishna rin galing. And si Krishna rin mismo yan. Pero indirectly. So, this godless civilization, what do we expect? Edi, godless activities. Diba? Destroying the environment, abusing other animals, abusing other people, discrimination. Diba? You're black, I will discriminate you. You're Asian, I will discriminate you. Diba? Or wala kang visa, you'll kick out, kukulong ka. So same, they will destroy the resources, imbalance the resources. They will have a pseudo, the opposite of imbalance. Opposite of I forgot the terms. So making all the resources imbalance. Yung abundance nawawala supposedly. Actually, it's really abundant, the resources that we have. It was just being hoarded, controlled, para mag-iba yun. Diba? It seems na yung industrial na nangyayari sa mga economic development sa mga cities, para wow, nag-advance tayo. Pero you will see much more people are hungry because they're destroying yung balance of nature. Nawawala yung mga farm, nawawala yung mga tanim. Diba? People are working. They're working 9 to 5. Diba? Kung paano yung industry, pag pumunta sa probinsya, you could just observe. Favorite ko to i-observe pag nagta-travel ako in mga tribes. Well, that's before. Sa mga bundok. Pag wala pang kuryente, sobrang peaceful nila. Ando yung mga resources, hindi side nila, very much in control. Pero pag bumating na yung mga electricity, tapos ando na yung mga tourist, ando na yung mga television, media, nagbabago yung takbo ng buhay ng mga nasa tribe. Tapos, ayun na, naghihirap na rin sila. They will do abominable activities already because of that. Pero same, you could just look around. That's tribes from the province. You could look around. Ando na yung mga resources sa paligid. Tapos nakakalimutan nila paano kunin na yun. Diba just like yung mga funny memes, diba? Yung mga fruits, nasa perfect, covering siya. Balat ng saging, balat ng avocado. But they will have to peel that, tapos cover na ng plastic. Diba? So, ganun siya. Ganun yung pseudo-advancement ng civilization. If you're having the godless civilization. So, the concrete jungle, the concrete buildings doesn't equate, hindi siya equivalent sa advancement ng society. Minsan pa nga, how they call this? Minsan pa nga, opposite. Madalas opposite pa nga siya. Naging impersonal yung mga tao, less connection sa nature, less connection kay Krishna because they're just focusing on getting the dollar bills, yeah. Yeah, it will be a hindrance. Diba? It doesn't mean that everyone should go to the forest, to the province. Hindi naman ganun din yung sagot. One just have to add Krishna, even if you're leaving the city. You add Krishna, then you'll be Krishna conscious. A lot of people in the province, nakita ko dito, na-observe ko, ang daming relax lang. Diba? Walang talagang siesta lang, inom lang. So, same. Pero kailangan mo lang i-add din si Krishna. When you add Krishna, then the sadhana is there, the practice is there, the association, the books, the chanting. Yeah, magkaka-meaning in life. Kasi we have different, unique swadharma or material positions and duties. Diba? Meron ako, I'll have to live in the temple because that's my duty. Some of you will be teachers, mother, diba? Manager, businessman. Same. Very unique about isa. Ganun si Krishna yung variety, goodness niya. Different elements, different uniqueness, different flavors, colors, climates. Ganun yung creator natin. Ganun si Krishna, the supreme creator. He did that. And the things that we need to do is learn from it, apply it in our daily lives, and as we understand, we will not be lost. So that is by the help ng ating mga teachers, the Srimad Bhagavatam, we'll be able to understand. Now, the conception of frog in the well in understanding, mawawala, kasi we have a much more bigger um, resources, reference, authentic reference. And yung conception, isang way para mawala yung conception ng false ego natin, I, me, and mine. If we understand this, by the help ng teachers natin, that Krishna is the supreme cause of the all causes, and we cannot live with the idea of I, me, and mine. It will just give us frustration and lamentation because we will never be Krishna. We will never be God. You can be a demigod in the future, though, if you wish to. But the devotees, they're praying to be just servant, whatever position. Basta they will continue to serve Krishna and the devotees. That's the prayer of devotees. Not to become a demigod, but to become devotees of Krishna in whatever forms they have. Thank you very much, my dear ones. Please don't forget, those who are in the 5th batch, yung mga sumasama doon, we will start 9 o'clock. And 7 p.m. tonight, nasa 3rd offense na tayo to the holy name. So, memorize nyo na yung first 2 offenses. Madali lang yun, 2 sentences lang yun. Then the 3rd offense, we will study tonight. And maraming salamat, my dear ones. Carla, Moksha Lakshmi Mataji, Oliver Prabhu, Paula Prabhu, RJ Prabhu, Jinky Mataji, Naimi Mataji, Riza. So yeah, Naimi, we studied tonight text number 9 to 13. So tomorrow we will proceed sa text 14, bitin po. Okay, attend ka mamaya 7 p.m. Naimi, ha? So, para tuloy-tuloy. And let's continue to be aware na hindi tayo mag-isip ng I, me, mind. It's a challenge for us. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gaur Pramanande Hari Hari Bol. Pandava Ekadasi Ki Jai. So please chant more rounds today. Read much more and associate much more. If you could attend the classes, please do so. And all glories to you, assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Bye. And thank you for those who are watching us in our Facebook Live. Haribol.